Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Yep, podcast below in the description. Check that out as well.
WineAccess.com/ham. 20% off. Woo!
Yep, go do it now. 20% off. 20% off.
Guaranteed.
WineAccess.com/ham.
What do you think, John, about the fact that Russell Wilson wanted a trade, Aaron Rodgers wants to get traded, and both of them had a short list of teams they'd want to get traded to, and the Raiders were on both?
It can't be a bad thing. There's just, let's put that cat out of the bag, right? I mean, that's a good thing. They went from being a joke for many years to, you would say, two of the four most prominent players in the league, Brady, Mahomes, Russell, Rodgers, put them on a very short list. It wasn't like 8 teams, right? I mean, Brady's was 3 and Rodgers was 4. And really the most realistic.
Russell Wilson?
Who did I say?
Brady.
Yeah, I mean, Russell Wilson was 4, Rodgers was 3, and really looking back at Russell Wilson's, like, they had Dak, and the Saints had no money. Like, it felt like the Bears or the Raiders. It was kind of more like realistically a 2-team race there. I think it's a good thing. Now, what's weird about the Raiders is it doesn't feel like there was any, like it ever got close with Russell, right? It wasn't like, Gruden had said Carr and 2 ones, and they said no. That never got out. Now, I would say this about Gruden. I don't think their business really gets leaked that much since he's been there. Would you agree with that? Like, I never heard Leatherwood 1 minute.
Yeah, I would agree with that for the most part.
So, I mean, I guess it's been over the years like they've quarterback interest, but with him and Russell, there was zero connection. This one kind of came out of left field, but I would be like, God, I think he would want Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is better than Derek. Now, what is the price? What would it cost? My thing with Aaron Rodgers, just the trade, a little like Russell Wilson too. If I trade you to the Bears or to the Raiders, either one of those players, and I'm not getting your pick now that I know what it is going into the draft, if I'm future picks, you're going to be good with those guys, right? If I'm the Packers and I trade Aaron Rodgers to the Raiders, even if you give me back Carr and you give me 2 1s and 2 2s or something, I'd expect the fucking Raiders to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
When does Aaron Rodgers ever not make the playoffs?
It makes it really hard, especially to do these deals after the draft, because now every pick you get is a guess. And you're right. The guess would be it's going to be in the 20s, not that valuable, right? That's where, like, Miami's 3rd pick was so valuable. That was a good team, but if you're going to trade with Miami, now's the time, because you're not going to get a 3rd overall pick from Miami ever again, right? That's why it made sense for Deshaun. Even the Jets, like, even if they're bad again, being bad enough to get the second, it's just hard. They should have had the 1st pick. They accidentally won a game, right?
Well, the year before, the Jets, for shitty as everyone acts like, they were 7-9, right? Becton was not the number 2 overall pick. They were not drafting as high as you think.
So I think one thing that makes the Raiders interesting in both of these scenarios is the Raiders just make sense for anyone who's trading something they don't want to trade, quarterback, because you can convince yourself, like, you know what, we can get Derek back as part of this package, and we've got a pretty good NFL quarterback. Now, you're not doing Derek for Aaron. You're doing Derek.
Who's their star wide receiver in Green Bay?
Devontae, buddies.
Who were they just playing golf with? I saw a couple weeks ago. Like, they are tight.
Devontae and Michael Pittman.
Yeah, didn't you have a front row seat at some of those games when they were in college? Pretty good connection.
They were a hell of a combo. Yeah. But so that makes sense. Now, is that why Aaron has the Raiders on his list? No, I don't think so. But I do think it makes it's just the Raiders make sense in that way because you can get a quarterback back that is not as good as Russell's, not as good as Aaron, but it's pretty damn good. And if you get enough picks along with them, you can convince yourself, well, if we had to trade this guy, we probably couldn't get another quarterback. We couldn't get another quarterback as good as Derek because we'd be taking back a future one that we hope turns into a quarterback, or this year we could get a 3rd pick from the Niners that maybe we like Trey Lance or Justin Fields, but maybe we don't. So in that sense, they make sense. But again, I don't think that's why Russ had the Raiders on the list. Is Gruden calling these guys? Like, is there some back channeling? He's trying to tell them. Why do both of those guys have the Raiders on their list? Okay, let's go through. Vegas might be pretty attractive, right? You could be a star in Vegas.
No income tax. Cheap to live.
Okay.
You're both West Coast.
You're both in West Coast. Good. LA, neither team's an option now in LA.
Nope.
You're
But
in
for both those two guys, I think LA, when you're in the private jet world, is like me or you driving right now to Sacramento. It's
right.
fast.
Yeah. So
45-minute flight.
So
or
great
whatever.
spot. Hell, you might be able to live in LA if you wanted to.
Philip Rivers style, but with private jet.
I don't know how much they're thinking about it. There are wild cards. The idea of going to Patrick Mahomes' division to me is kind of weird, but whatever. You go, we got to beat him in the Super Bowl. I got to beat him in the AFC Championship game.
I don't think players get obsessed with that. I think that's irrelevant.
Clearly not.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think they think there's just a bunch of playoff spots. We play each other one way or the other. Whatever. Yeah. So
I'm better than him.
I'm better than him. Yeah, we can be. I mean, maybe they look
fair or not. Like that's what he thinks.
We look at the Raiders like they've underachieved the last few years, but let's put another hat on it and go. I see Darren Waller. I think Henry Ruggs could be pretty good. I think they can run the ball. I've done a bunch of Monday Night Football games, and John Gruden was in there. I like John. I think John's a good offensive coach, right? If Aaron Rodgers thinks John Gruden's a good offensive coach, that's perfectly believable, a reasonable thing to think. I could work with him.
To me, I thought, yes, I don't know if we're quite talking about, like, I mean, me and you are, but it quite became as big of a story as it should have been. If you and I did a realistic, not one of the thing that comes out on an NFL Network where they poll the players, half of them fuck around or whatever, like the top 100. If that is truly just based on last year, Aaron Rodgers is the best player in the league. The best player in the league. The best player in the league just said he wanted to go to the Raiders. And he's still, I'd say 20 years ago, you'd be like, well, he's going to be 38. The age doesn't quite look as bad, right, with Tom. And just the way Aaron, I think he's a pretty healthy guy. He looks older. That his game looks young.
Right.
If you told me he has 5 years left at an MVP level, I think it's pretty believable. You get the best player in football. One of the best players in league history. I think when it's all said and done, he might go down, wouldn't you say, like he'll be higher than Marino because he's got the Super Bowl and his stats are going to be outrageous. Like he's going to go down as like a top potential 4 or 5 quarterback in league history. Put you on his list. Are we not going enough? Like, why aren't you being super aggressive to go get this fucking guy right now?
Also,
what's a fair offer? Derek and 3 1s? Would you do that?
Well, I think that is a fair. I think fair for the Packers. Yeah, that's a fair offer. Now, again, like you said, to me, the only way I do that if I'm the Packers, if I'm convinced there's no way he's coming back to play for me, because
that's what he's saying.
Well, I know that's what he's saying, but I gotta believe that if we play, that he would go host Jeopardy and pay me $11 million of his signing.
I'm not coming back, Gudikins. Delete my number.
That's what Rap Sheet reported, right? He'd have to pay back $11 million of his signing bonus this year and next year if he stays retired.
But money's not an issue to him. Like that's, you're dealing with a guy where money's not an issue.
Right. But the point is, if you're
I'm not saying,
them,
like,
you
don't
cannot
want money, but
you cannot trade him unless you're convinced, hey guys, look, there was nothing else we could have done. He was not coming back. We got 3 1s and Derek Carr. With those ones, unfortunately, will be in the 20s, but whatever. We think Derek Carr, we can put enough around him. We can win again. We like our coach. Our coach likes Derek.
I think he'd be really good in the offense.
Here's the other thing if you're the Raiders. This is what the players don't think about it, but they should be thinking about this. They're in Patrick Mahomes' division. Okay, they're still a wild card. But what if Aaron's on the Broncos? Now what do we do? Like, do you have to pay a little extra just because you think, do I want to be in the same division with Aaron Rodgers on the Broncos and Patrick Mahomes on the Chiefs?
The difference is, unless they're in love with Jordan Love, and I guess they could be, the Broncos do not have a quarterback to offer them. Like the
Right.
Raiders have a quarterback to offer that would be an immediate starter, and I think you could sell yourself like, we're going to make the playoffs with this guy, right?
Right.
Our division's not that good. Justin
Because
Fields.
if you're the Packers, you need a quarterback. You need a path to a quarterback. To your point, maybe they like Jordan Love.
I think if you trade Aaron Rodgers and you put all your chips in the middle of the table, like let's say you did a deal with the Broncos and you got no quarterback back, but 3 1s and 2 2s. If Jordan Love is bad the next couple of years, your careers are over, both of you.
Yeah, because you started it by drafting him.
To me, where you get Derek shown his ceiling now is like you would not be it'd be hard for you to not be decent, right? And your team's already good. Your team's already good.
People go, he's not Aaron, but you know what? We can win with him. We got a shot.
Well, guy, we saw Derek last year, 7-8 wins the last couple of years on a team that is very flawed. The Packers are dramatically better. That is no one's saying like Rodgers just. It's like the Jets. He just needs to get out. They were the fucking 13. Guy, they won 26 games the last 2 years. Now, I think if Aaron was sitting here, well, yeah.
Yeah.
But their defense is actually better than it gets credit for. They have a really good run game. They have a superstar wide receiver, which I do
Their
think
coach is
with
clearly
Derek,
good.
you could connect. Like there's a comfort level immediately right there with those two
Derek
guys.
would have to change his number. Derek loves Favre.
Was it retired yet? Oh, yeah, they did it a couple years ago. Yeah. I think on Monday Night Football.
Night, right?
Yeah.
I had a buddy in Denver text me when he saw.
Would he let him wear it or no chance?
No chance.
You couldn't. Yeah, there's
14,
no. You don't get to.
Come.
Yeah.
Buddy in Denver texted me when he saw the story. He's like, "Great, another Californian coming to drive up home prices in Denver."
I got news for the Denver crowd. He ain't living where the normal people are living. He's living where the home prices have been so outrageous for years it doesn't even matter. He'll be Peyton Manning's neighbor.
I think the West Coast is a part of it, but you don't go to the West Coast just to go to the West Coast if you don't believe in the coach. I think these guys think Gruden's a good offensive coach.
If they were the Oakland Raiders, I don't think he puts them on.
I mean, that's still West Coast, but it's not quite the glitz, the glam, a town to yourself.
That's an educated guess for me. I think if they're the Oakland Raiders, I would be a little surprised if Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers had been on the list. That's where I do think the Vegas thing. I think the Vegas thing changed the franchise for the better. Now, eventually you got to win, and you got. I mean, Russell. It feels like they've figured that out. Pete's come out. This is one. If I'm like, have they been having long talks for the last 12 hours about like what should we be? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be malpractice if they weren't seriously considering it.
Also, considering what they do with
Aaron Rodgers.
Somebody's got to look at each other and go, I mean, considering, guys, what we've been doing with our first round picks, like we're drafting second, like you and I, Leatherwood. Well, this is not a complaint, but it's like, some of these guys we're drafting, we're not winning enough to be in the playoffs, but we're not losing enough to be in the top 10. Like, so we're drafted in the late teens, 20s. We're taking guys we just like, but aren't necessarily, top 10 blue chippers that are falling to us. So yeah, we'll be drafting in the 20s. We'll be taking the same players we've been taking anyway. We've been drafting I mean, I know the Cleveland Furl wasn't, but for the most part, they're drafting middle and back of the draft anyway. So give up your ones.
I do think if both these guys return, and obviously Russell, I think, is going to return. If Rodgers returns, I don't think this is over.
I think you are 1,000% right about that.
With the Raiders specifically. It does feel like they're kind of on crash course to be all of a sudden like a breaking report. Raiders have offered the farm for one of those two. And if I was going to do it, I'd probably lean Rodgers. But big picture, you could factor in age and take the other guy, right? I mean, Russell is dramatically younger. 6 years is a pretty big difference when you're both in your 30s, right? Yeah. One guy being 31, 32, the other guy being 37, 38. Like, that is a pretty sizable gap of prime years. I lean a little youth because
I'd go Rodgers.
I depending, you just have to tell me the two costs of the two players. And I think Rodgers just costs more. And both cost you Derek, which is part of the package.
Do you think Russell is Derek in 2 ones?
Your quarterback is worth a 1. Like, would the Bears have traded the Raiders straight up pick 20 for Derek Carr? Yes.
The Raiders would have said no.
The Raiders would have said no. They would have done that deal they would have rather done that a month ago than what they just did for Justin Fields, right? I mean, it cost them 2 ones.
It cost them 2 ones, so they would have had to offer. They would have offered 2 ones for Derek Carr.
Yeah, but I'm saying but if like Derek had been available, they could have definitely got a 1.
I agree. My point is, I think what would have happened is the Bears would have had to go to both of the ones they just were willing to trade for Fields. If I'm the Bears, I would rather trade those 2 ones for Derek Carr.
Yes.
So you're saying Derek's worth a 1?
No, but my point is, like, if the Raiders had a different quarterback and we're going to get rid of him, like, they would have just got a first-round pick for Derek. They wouldn't have got 2 first-round picks for him.
I think they would have got more than 1-1. Maybe 1 and a 2. I don't think it's just 1-1 for Derek Carr.
Like, if they would have traded him in March.
If it's Derek Carr's available.
Yeah, maybe a 1 and a 3. Yeah, you're right.
The Niners, all your teams are involved.
I mean, Jalen Ramsey's going for 2 1s. You're right. Quarterback inflation. He's under contract. He's relatively cheap for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think there would have been demand.
Yeah.
So okay, he's worth a 1. So that means you're trading 4 1s for you. You think?
But I think they would probably say, like, we could easily get if we put him for open bid, like, let's just say 1 and a 3. Like, we'll give you 1 and a 3, and that's Derek, and then 2 other 1s. Like, so you just really have to give 2 1s.
So
your 2022,
2 1s, a 3, and Derek.
The problem is that fan base doesn't look at it that way. Like, what the
No,
fuck?
no. But you have to convince them that we had no choice, that Aaron was leaving us.
Well, there's no way to convince them till the guy plays. It'd be hard. It'd be an impossible situation. Like if I would not envy Derek in either one of those situations.
Yeah.
Russell's the greatest player in the history of the franchise. And I think Rodgers is viewed by fans as better than Brett Favre, who was easily the best player. I guess,
they take more pride in Rodgers, I think.
Yeah.
The thing that would help Derek and would help the team is if they drag it out to the point that Aaron doesn't show up. Like it's week 1, Aaron's not there. Then you go, guys, look, I'm sorry we drafted Jordan Love, but get over it. And then you can turn the tide a little bit that way.
Here's what I know: if Aaron Rodgers ain't there week 1, it's the biggest story in America.
Oh. I remember Aaron Rodgers was there and Brett Favre was there, and it was the biggest story in America. You remember that?
Get ready.
PTI every day for me in those days, John.
Now it's